Do you know the number one thing that surprises engaged couples? Take a guess. The sheer amount of decisions they have to make while planning a wedding. Indoors or outdoors? How many guests? Are kids invited? Controversial. Which cake flavor? Seriously, how do you even begin to figure out what's right for you? That's where Zola comes in. Zola has everything you need to make every wedding decision a piece of cake, from choosing your dream wedding venue and vendors to deciding how to best spend your budget. With tons of customizable wedding websites, save the dates and invites, every detail will feel like you. Zola will even help you choose the gifts, experiences, and cash funds you really want. The next thing you know, you've planned your whole wedding all in one place. From getting engaged to getting married, Zola has everything you need to plan your wedding in one place. Start planning at Zola.com. That's Zola.com.
Most weight loss plans are one size fits all, not taking into account each person's individual needs. Noom is here to change that. Noom Weight uses psychology. That's why they say losing weight starts with your brain. But it also takes into account your unique biological factors, which also affect weight loss success. The program helps you understand the science behind your eating choices and why you have cravings. Everyone's journey is different, so your daily lessons are personalized to you and your goals. One of the great things about Noom is that it's nourishing instead of restrictive. They focus on progress instead of perfection. You don't have to give up carbs, or anything for that matter. Have cravings? Food FOMO? Noom can help you lose weight while still enjoying your favorite foods. To date, Noom has helped more than 5.2 million people lose weight. Stay focused on what's important to you with Noom's psychology and biology-based approach. Sign up for your trial today at Noom.com. That's Noom.com.
Hello, everyone. It's your girl, Gabrielle from A Step Ahead Tutoring Services. So today we are at episode number 12. And our hot topic for today is life as a parent. So I know we talked about that a couple times before, but we like to repeat topics because it is more than one way to see an issue, or there's more than one way to view a topic. So we're all about diversity here at A Step Ahead Tutoring Services. So we're definitely all about diverse perspectives. So our topic today is life as a parent. We're bringing it back. And my guest is going to help me discuss that. And her name is Brenda Farmer. So Brenda Farmer is going to be with me today. And let me tell you a little bit about her. So Brenda Farmer was born and raised in Southeast Queens. She was raised in a two-parent household. Her mom stayed home until they were older, and her dad worked as a truck driver for a lumber yard. She had a great childhood growing up in Queens, riding her bike, sitting outside, playing with her friends. She also has 4 siblings. So she's one of 4 siblings, actually, 2 brothers and a sister, and she's the middle child. So she got bused in the 70s when schools were becoming interracial. She went to public and middle school in Flushing. She graduated from Jamaica High School. She has her bachelor's from Queens College in elementary education with a minor in urban studies. She's a single mother. She has 4 beautiful children, 3 boys and a girl. Her oldest is a detective and he's 30 years old. And her other son is 27. He's an assistant coach at Adelphi University for the women's basketball team. And he's also an assistant coach for the Queens Defenders and an assistant coach at Forest Hills, where he graduated from and played on the varsity team. Her other 2 are twins. So the 2 girls are twins. She has a fraternal twins. She has a boy and a girl, and they are 20 years old. And they also work and plan on attending college. Her children are her pride and joy, I can definitely tell. And she's been an educator. She herself, Brenda, has been an educator with the Department of Education of 23 years. She works in a self-contained special education classroom with K-1 and sometimes the 2nd grade. So that is, excuse me, that is a mouthful there. But welcome to the show, Brenda. Welcome to the show, Brenda. How are you doing today?
Thank you. I'm fine. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you. So when we talked in the preliminary interview, you have a very interesting perspective on life as a parent. If you wouldn't mind sharing that today with us.
Well, I have, like you said, I do have 4 children. I was a single mother. I still am, but they're older now, so it's not too much mothering to do when they get older. But I think it's very hard being a single mother raising 4 children, at least by yourself. And when you raise kids by yourself, you have to find things for them to do and keep them busy so they don't get in trouble. So I found like I had 3 boys, so all the boys played basketball, and then my daughter danced. So there always was something for them to do, games during the week, on the weekend, dancing school. And that helped me keep them, at least in line and out of trouble, and, helping them focus and learn how to make friends and be with other people. And also, I think I was raised by a strict Southern family, so there's some values and morals that you want to always teach your kids. And I think I instilled all of that in them because they come back now and be like, Mom, glad you taught me this and taught me that. Like when my son first went away to college, I told him, I said, when you go away, you're going to know how to cook, clean, do your laundry, everything. And then he called me one day like, Mom, kids don't even know how to do laundry. I said, that's a shame. I said, see, because, as parents, we tend to do so much for our kids and they don't become independent, but you have to teach them, take them to the laundromat with you, take them to, different places so they can see how to do different things. Let them sweep the floor, let them do, you can't do everything for them because they have to learn eventually to do it on their own and be alone to do these things.
So you pretty much, you took the values that you learned and you passed it on to them.
Yes.
So tell me, what's it like raising 4 children by yourself? It sounds like a lot for one person. I would imagine 1 kid by yourself, or maybe 2, but 4.
Yeah, with the grace of God. And of course, I had my mom and dad, they were always helpful. My mom babysitted and my dad dropped her off to babysit with the twins. And, there's always after school and, I'm always there. So to try to do whatever and help out if it's after school programs you have to get your child into, because I didn't really have a babysitter when I had the twins, like a real somebody that I could depend on. So I used to take the twins with me to college. When I went to night school, I went to Queens College for my degree, and I used to take them with me, and they used to sit in the classroom when they were so quiet. People be like, why your kids are so quiet? But, if you raise them right, they won't embarrass you, and they'll be, when you tell them to do something, they'll do it. So they used to sit in the back with their game or their coloring book or whatever they liked. And while I was in class, of course, I had to ask the professor, can I bring them? Which I was scared to do, but I wanted to finish my degree. So, and he was like, sure, fine. And I used to bring them with me to class, and they were so good. I was like, I felt good about that, like, because, sometimes kids could be embarrassing when you're out in the street if you're not really, doing what you're supposed to do as a disciplinarian to discipline them.
So, you must have done something right for your professor to let your kids come in during your class? Because it's happened. When I went to college, there was a couple parents who brought their kids. So you must have really good kids for your professor to let them in like that.
Yeah. Everybody, the whole class was shocked. And there's two of them. So I felt good, during the times I did bring them. I was like, okay, that shows that, even though they're little, they could sit down and listen and be quiet and.
So this was just the fraternal twins, the boy and the girl?
Yes, the boy and the girl, the last two.
All right. So it sounds like it takes a village. You said you had your mother and your father to help you.
Yes. And also I used to send the boys, like I said, with the basketball, I used to send them away to camp in the summer just to experience different things. Like, the job had like scholarships that you could pay, that pay for you to send your kids away. They pay a portion, you pay a portion. So I got like scholarships from the camp. There's so many things you can get that's out there for your kids to do. If you can't afford it, there's definitely scholarships and things for kids. And some of them is just like writing a letter. You have to just write a letter, say why you want to go to camp. So I had them write their letter, and that was simple. They give you the scholarship because they feel like the kid wants to experience different things. So that was a lot of in the summertime. And then they have bikes and scooters and just stuff to keep them busy and be kids, because it's a time to be a kid. You got to make sure they have fun and do different things and,
Right. So it wasn't like you raised them to be little adults. You allowed them to be children.
Yes, all of them. But, most, like I told you before, my kids went to school in like a predominantly Caucasian area. So there was, things that we did experience living in those areas, and being the only African American in the school or in the neighborhood or in the apartment building. So, people look at you and, judge you. But, we made it through.
Can you talk about that a little bit more? What was that like?
It's heartening, when little kids are calling your kids the N-word, and, as a mother, it hurts you. And it also makes your child feel like, if they're dark skin or light skin or, that plays a part when people are calling you that, and it makes you feel like uncomfortable, even though you're supposed to be there, you have a right to be there. And my oldest son, he's darker, of course, and he was the one that got bullied the most out of the two of the kids, because by the time the twins got to the school, everything was more integrated at the school because they all did go to the same school. So, yes, I had to knock on a lot of doors and figure out why your child is bothering mine. And, and it made my son, I think it made him feel like he didn't appreciate his dark skin at one point, going to school and being called names and, being dark. But as he got older, like I told him, he'll appreciate it when you get older, But it did hurt for them to go through that experience. And then it's always a fight, or they're calling me. Like, I was like, but you can't do that. So, of course, eventually kids are going to retaliate if somebody keeps bullying them and bothering them. But, we made it through.
So what I imagine the conversations, you had with your eldest son about racism and prejudice, and what was that like?
Well, it made him feel like he was out of place because my oldest kid, he's the detective, and of course he's very smart and intelligent. So he was in like SP classes and talented and gifted, and he felt like he didn't belong there because he had they had selected him for a program to go to, and it was like AP classes. And he used to come home like, Ma, I'm the only Black kid in the class. Like, I feel out of place. Like, I don't want to go. I said, no, you earned it. You're going to be there. You going. Ain't no, you don't want to be there. I said, how many other people would want to be there that was your color? So you're going to sit there and you deserved it and you earned it. Why shouldn't you want to be there? It's your right to be there. If you're smart and intelligent, just like everybody else, you have a right to be there too, whether you Black, white, whatever color you are, So race was always an issue race was always an issue with my kids being in the area like Vigo Park where I raised them at. So, But I'm from, predominantly African-American, neighborhood where we grew up at, which is where I live now. So
You're not in Rego Park anymore?
no, but my other son lives over there now, but I don't.
So so when you told your son, like, you earned that opportunity, you're going to go, you wanted him to stand up for himself.
Yes.
And not be afraid to take an opportunity that he worked so hard to get.
Yes. He earned the right to be there, so why shouldn't you want to be there? And I know it was because he looked around and didn't see anybody that looked like him. So, and you could be made to feel like that, like, why am I here? I'm not, see nobody look like me, but he had to sit it out, and he thanked me for it now,
He does? What does he say? What does he tell you?
Well, they said I was a good mom. I am, not was, but I was a good mom. And, it's hard to raise 4 Black children without nobody getting in trouble, without nothing going on. And like I said, by the grace of God, nobody got in trouble. Nobody got arrested. No, no bad stuff. Like maybe a fight or two or in trouble in school like kids normally do. But, they'd be like, we had a good childhood, Ma. Just like my son came yesterday. He was telling me, he was like, we had a good childhood, but he said that he was raised in a time period that don't exist anymore. Like for the 90s kids, they feel like this time period that they were raised in, it doesn't exist because they was outside playing, riding their bikes. They play video games, but not as intense, like with these computers and all the stuff that parents just have their kids sitting on. Because sometimes that be the babysitter, the computer, the phone, people don't spend time like with their kids anymore. At least with the COVID, it was like a wake up call for people to really get to know their kids and their families. Because like I said, I work in a school and.
Do you know the number one thing that surprises engaged couples? Take a guess. The sheer amount of decisions they have to make while planning a wedding. Indoors or outdoors? How many guests? Are kids invited? Controversial. Which cake flavor? Seriously, how do you even begin to figure out what's right for you? That's where Zola comes in. Zola has everything you need to make every wedding decision a piece of cake. From choosing your dream wedding venue and vendors to deciding how to best spend your budget. With tons of customizable wedding websites, save the dates and invites, every detail will feel like you. Zola will even help you choose the gifts, experiences, and cash funds you really want. The next thing you know, you've planned your whole wedding all in one place. From getting engaged to getting married, Zola has everything you need to plan your wedding in one place. Start planning at Zola.com. That's ZOLA.com.
Over the past 75 years, more than 10,000 chemicals have entered our food supply, but the EU allows just 300 additives. At Thrive Market, we prioritize quality, banning over 1,000 ingredients found in conventional grocery stores. Our Healthy Swap scanner helps you find better versions of your pantry essentials without the junk, dyes, or fillers, and everything is delivered right to your doorstep. So shop at a grocery store that actually cares about your health at thrivemarket.com/get-started for 30% off your first order and a free $60 gift.
Parents don't believe the stuff you be telling them that their kids do. And they be like, well, they don't do it at home. And I'd be like, okay. So I said, all of this is an awakening for people to see how their children really are, because you got to spend more time with them. If you at school for 6.5 hours and then I just come home and I got to cook, I got to, give you a bath, it's not that much interaction with the parent and the kid. So you don't really know what he's doing all day for 6 hours. And then he's good at home. So you're going to be like, well, you know, too, but this was a good awakening for everybody to get to know their families, their kids, their husband, their wives,
Right, because everyone was quarantined together, spent more time at home, that they didn't have a choice but to get to know them.
Yes.
So did that affect you and your family? Were you guys quarantined together, forced to hunker down?
Yeah. Well, I just said I live with the twins, so we were all together, yes. But my other two sons don't live with me, so they were at their, apartments and houses, and we were here.
And
But
what?
I'm close knit with my kids anyway. Maybe sometimes I think I'm too close, but
Too close? How?
You breaking up out of here.
Sorry, you said you too close to your kids.
I feel like that sometimes. Like with my daughter, I'm real close to my daughter, especially. She's the only girl, so. And I don't want her to feel like, I'm not here, or she can't talk to me, or, I always want to be here for all my kids, but my daughter has a special place because she's the only girl I have, so.
Is that female bonding?
Yes, I love my daughter. And the twin thinks I love her more than him, but that's not the case, though. It's just different with girls.
Okay. So
but they're still in competition at 20, the twins. They're still in competition for my love, I guess. I don't know.
Competition. Tell me about that.
Well, he thinks that I do more for her than him. And I'm like, it is no comparison between the two of you. You're a boy, she's a girl. So I don't see why he feels that way, though. But, I guess when you're a girl, you like they say, when you go shopping for a girl, like you could get a bunch of not cheap or inexpensive stuff for girls. Okay. So if you see something here and there, you pick it up for your daughter or whatever. But for boys, you got to buy the shirt, the shoes, or just the underwear, t-shirt. It's not much to buy them, but it's not going to be like there's so much stuff for a girl that you can't get for a boy. So that could be one of the reasons why.
That it's easier to shop for
it's
a girl.
Sibling rivalry. And then I'm shopping for myself, so I'm a girl too. So if I see something that she's gonna like, I'm gonna pick it up. Especially if it's on sale.
Why not? Well, what about the two older ones? Are they in competition?
Well, I don't know. I don't think so. Because my oldest son doesn't live here, so we get to see him like maybe once or twice during the year. And then my other son does live here. So the oldest one is kind of distant from us because he doesn't live here. But the other three of us my other three kids and me, we're more closer knit than the older kid. And he moved out like when he was 18. So he's been he lives in Maryland. So he's been gone for a few years now, for a while. So he comes and visits, or either we go down there for holidays or, Christmas or Thanksgiving. Usually Thanksgiving, because that's around the time my birthday is. And then we just all go to see him as a family. Like last year, we went as a family. It was my birthday. And then he got engaged. So we all just went. So that was the best Thanksgiving ever last year. We had so much fun. So he got engaged to his girlfriend for 10 years. I was like, about time. Like, so.
So your family sounds pretty close. You guys keep in touch. It's not like your oldest son disappears for 3 months, and at least you guys keep in contact with each other.
Yes, you have to. Family is all you have, basically. You can have a million friends, but you got to try to stay close to your family at least,
And that's the value that you instill in them.
Yes. My kids don't have too many friends, so they kind of stay to themselves. They always been homebodies anyway. They go play basketball, they go do what they got to do, and then they come back home. So, and my daughter, she never spent the night at nobody's house, none of that. I didn't allow her to spend the night at nobody's house.
Do you find yourself more overprotective over the girl than the other 3 boys?
Yes, I do, and I never told the boys why I never let her spend the night at nobody's house. And then when the boy twin got older, he was like, "Ma, why?" And I told him why. He was like, oh, that's why. I said, yeah. Not that I had to explain myself because you were a kid, but, they understand when they get older and they ask you things, why you did this and why was this like that. And it's for your own good, because you don't know who's at these other people's houses. And I always want to know who's there, who lives in the house, how many men, because certain things go on. And, you think you letting your daughter go spend the night with her friends, but there's other people in the house that you might not know, or you might not know that's in the house. So I need to meet the parents. If my kid is staying at your house, I need to meet the mother, the father, and whoever else I need to know, because, things happen.
Do you bring people to your house?
Oh, my daughter's friends, they stay, but sometimes the boys, but I'll let the boys spend the night at the boys, their friend's house, but not my daughter.
Well, she's 20 now, right? In college?
Well, she was in college, but COVID, so she's regrouping to get back in college. She's going to be a teacher, like her mom.
Oh, awesome. Does she go to college locally or far away, or before COVID?
She was going to Queensboro before the pandemic, and that's probably where she has to go back to, because she has to go there first to transfer to Queens. So.
Okay. So I want to bring it back to the racism part. So you said your oldest got the worst of it. What about the other three?
Well, the two older boys, definitely. Not so much the twins, because the area was more mixed by the time they got to the school. So, but my son was, like I said, he's 30 now. So, and he was the only African-American in the whole 6th grade class that graduated from there. So, and I still have that picture. It was him and maybe 2 other, maybe 2 to 3 other African-American girls, but everybody else was of a different nationality. So who would think these kids know these things, in their elementary school?
Yeah. You would think your kids would know these things. So what did you just say before?
No, I said, who would think other kids would know how to, spew racism? I said, who would think kids know how to spew racism in elementary school? But they do.
That's true. I mean, they get it from their parents. They learn from their parents the racism.
Yeah.
So what's your take on racial tolerance?
Well, I don't. And you mean in far as my job, or just period?
Just period.
Well, I don't have no tolerance for racism. But with the pandemic, you saw who was racist. And with the Trump and all this other stuff, you saw people showed their true colors when all of Trump was in presidency in office. All the people that are racist showed their true colors, but then they want to say, I'm not racist. But how could you support somebody that's spewing racism if you're not racist? You have to have something in common, or some reason why you like the person, or something that makes him interesting. Or so you can't tell me you're not racist if you support this guy that's always being racist. And then that just makes me know how to deal with people better.
Do you know the number one thing that surprises engaged couples? Take a guess. The sheer amount of decisions they have to make while planning a wedding. Indoors or outdoors? How many guests? Are kids invited? Controversial. Which cake flavor? Seriously, how do you even begin to figure out what's right for you? That's where Zola comes in. Zola has everything you need to make every wedding decision a piece of cake, from choosing your dream wedding venue and vendors to deciding how to best spend your budget. With tons of customizable wedding websites, save the dates, and invites, every detail will feel like you. Zola will even help you choose the gifts, experiences, and cash funds you really want. The next thing you know, you've planned your whole wedding all in one place. From getting engaged to getting married, Zola has everything you need to plan your wedding in one place. Start planning at Zola.com. That's ZOLA.com.
I'd rather see your face and then not know,
Right, because they're showing their true colors.
Exactly. That's what I told my coworker. I was like, the masks have come off. Now I know who's who. And you display people accordingly,
Yeah. So the lessons that you taught your kids. So how do you know that they're doing what you taught them to do?
Okay, so where we lived at was like on Queens Boulevard, right? So, Queens Boulevard is busy. So I would always tell them, don't cross. I don't want to catch you crossing Queens Boulevard. I said, if you must cross, go down in the train station and come up on the other side because you could get hit or whatever. And they used to do that too. So one day my son, one of the older kids, he came home like, Mom, my friends tried to get me to cross Queens Boulevard and I told them no, that I couldn't cross. He said, but I did, but I went down in the train station like you told me and came up on the other side. I said, okay. So I said, see, and then, just when they go to other people's house, because they did have friends of different races and they used to go to the house and the parents were, oh, your kids are so well-mannered and respectful and they have manners. And because I always tell them, like, when you go out, you represent me. When you go to people's house and I let you do different things, that's a reflection of me. So, always present yourself as a presentable person, I said, they're going to look at you because of your color, but when you open up your mouth and speak, they'll know that you have something, you're about something. So I think, that's one of the things I did instill in them.
Right. So it's not what you look like, it's what you bring to the table.
Exactly. I said, you're going to be prejudged because you're Black already, but once you open up your mouth and start speaking, they'll know that you have some proof about yourself and, and nobody just can't tell you anything.
Awesome. All right. So we are just coming to the end of our interview. So do you have any advice for any single parents, single moms, single dads listening right now? What lessons do you want people to learn?
Just always be there for your kids regardless. Talk to them, especially when they're younger, because when you talk to them when they're younger, they're able to talk to you when they get older. But if you don't have that established communication while they're younger, before they get to the teenage stage, you're going to miss out on so much. They're not going to feel comfortable telling you anything. And especially if you want to yell and scream, you have to be able to talk and have a conversation with your kids. And then, I feel that's what brings the bond better. Because some things I don't want to hear my kids talk to me now about it. I'll be like, wow, I did say be open and you can talk to me about anything. But and also there has to be rules. You have to have some type of rules. You can't let the children run all over the place. Has to be some type of structure, you do this, that, or and even if you have unruly kids, it has to be some type of plans. You have to plan things out to get them to do what you want them to do. And discipline starts when they're little. When they start walking and running around, that's when you have to say no and stop. And, those words have to, make them think and look. They're like, okay. Because all my mother had to do was give me a look. And I know I better stop. The look meant stop. And I don't know what else. Just try to be the best you could be. And God will help you through the rest. Because I never thought I would be with, older kids and I'm still young. So I don't have any grandchildren yet. So, I told them have a wife first, get married, and so it's working out. But I want some grandkids though now. So I'm like, okay, speed it up. But, I think that's it. That's all that comes to mind right now, at least.
That's absolutely great advice. All right, Ms. Farmer, thank you for joining me today. And I understand you want to promote your son's business. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, he trains for basketball to get better at basketball. He has a skills academy and it's on Instagram. He's assistant coach at Queens Defenders for Christ the King, and he's assistant coach at Forest Hills High School. And if you want to get better, you need to holler at him. It's TOWIU. The Only Way Is Up. Those are the initials for it. Skills Academy and Instagram.
Awesome. And were you about to say something?
No.
Okay. And of course, all that information will be provided in the description. So that's it for Hot Topics. And I hope you guys enjoyed our video for today. Please check out our other clips on our YouTube channel and don't forget to subscribe. You can also find us, A Step Ahead Tutoring Services, on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So please check those out. And please donate to our crowdfunding campaign. The funds go towards keeping our tutors employed and providing free workshops on educational topics. So please donate to our crowdfunding campaign on ifundwomen.com. That link will also be provided to you in the description. So that's it for Hot Topics. Thank you for joining us. And please tune in for the next episode. Tuning in next time. Bye.